If we go to the player's properties here, we go down to our next thing to look at, which is the pass-through. This is the player's ability to jump through something. The only thing the player has kind of unique when it comes to the pass-through is that it can either be to allow the player to drop through the pass-through or not to allow them. The thing that we have with this, though, is that there's an override in the standard pass-through. So, for instance, we could actually say drop down is false. So you may have some players that you want to be able to drop down, and then some players you may not want to. It may just be a special ability for some. Well, if we go through here and we click on the pass-through in the default set, we'll go ahead and just place one here and one here. Alright, let's go to each one here. We'll go ahead and make sure the setup is right. So on the pass-through for this one, we're just going to say that the pass-through type, let's go down to our pass-throughs. Alright, so for our basic settings, there's an option for override. If this is enabled, then it means that no matter what the player has, whether it's off or on, the player will be able to do whatever the option says right here. So if this was turned off, then the player wouldn't be able to. If it was turned on, then the player could. So we'll start off by saying that the override, we'll say the override on this one is going to allow the player to drop down. And then if we go to the other option here, we'll go to this one, and let's go ahead and click on the properties for it. We're going to leave the override turned off. That way, when the player gets to here, it's going to automatically say that the player can't drop down, because it's going to use the player's properties for it. Alright. So we'll go to the first one, which will override the player's controls. So we're going to say when the player is here, now he shouldn't be able to because his is turned off, but this one is overriding his current option for it to allow him a special case for it. So now he can drop through on that one. Now if we go to this one, now if we're on here, it's currently not overriding it, so it's saying whatever your property is player, that's what you're going to be allowed to do. So if I push down and I jump, instead of falling down, I'm actually just going to do my standard jump, because this one, because the player isn't allowed to actually go through it. Alright, so that's just basic one, but allows you to have a drop through and then a permissions and override between the two different tiles on it.